Our next guest is an actor, author, activist who has been heating up our TV and movie screens for years, and he's calling us from his home right now. It's Blair Underwood.
What's going on, ladies? You broke that down. The introduction was very nice. Thank you, Tam.
Hi. Who are you in quarantine with, and how is it going?
I don't know. Somebody different every day. I have no idea. I'm making it up as I go.
Oh my God.
Look at Amanda. No, I'm here. She's like, what? No, I'm at home with my wife. Ray, our 3 kids are ages 18 to 23. So it's just the 5 of us and the family dog.
Oh.
Are you all cooking dinner together?
Well, here's the thing. See, I figured if we're going to go through this thing, I wanted to come out on the other side with a different skill set or do something different, learn something different. So I'm teaching myself how to cook. So I have never cooked. I haven't cooked a meal in 25 years. Trust me when I say. But even what I'm doing, it's this company where they send you the boxes, send you all the food and all the ingredients, and they walk you through the instructions. So it's like
I love those.
It's cooking by numbers, but I'm getting it done. I'm fixing the food every now and then.
Well, that's all that matters,
Yeah.
And it's something else that everybody's doing. They're watching Netflix, and this Tiger King has been a hit. But I actually heard that growing up, you wanted to be the Tiger King. Explain that.
I did. I don't know where they even came from, but I knew I wanted to either run away with the circus or have my own lions and tigers and dolphins, by the way. I swore I was going to have my own dolphins. I know what it was. When I was a kid, there was a show on TV in the 70s called Doc Tari about an African doctor. And I just knew that's what I was going to do. That's what I wanted to be. And that was that. Obviously, that didn't work out. Actually, you know what? There was a show, I think in the 90s called Circus of the Stars. Before any of y'all were born.
Yep.
Yes,
Circus of the Stars. And different celebrities would do different circus acts. And all I wanted to do was the lion act. And they flew me. I couldn't do it eventually because my schedule didn't work out. But just to test it, because they said you have to build a relationship with these lions. And they flew me down to Florida, and I got in the cage with these lions, about 8 or 9 different lions. And it all worked out, but they had a brother nervous because they said, I don't think any of these cats have ever seen a black lion tamer before, so we don't know what's going to happen. I said, wait a minute, the cats are from Africa. They're going to be all right.
Go.
It better be all right.
Good
And it was
point.
all right. Yeah.
Well, Blair, it's been 35 years since your film debut in Crush Groove.
Wow.
Was that truly your first on-screen kiss, or is that a rumor?
Yeah, first on-screen kiss. Not my first kiss.
Of course. Right.
Let them know.
Blair, so how's Blair a friend?
I would have almost done that film for free because my leading lady was Sheila E., the great Sheila Escobedo drummer, and I was like, yeah, I get to kiss Sheila E. And then it turned out I knew there was a love scene in the script, which was going to be at the end of the shooting. We shot for about a month, but we're in the first week, and there's a scene where I come off the elevator with Run DMC, Joey, and she comes around the corner, and the director Michael Schultz said, so here's the thing. Y'all would have, y'all have made love already, so y'all are intimate and close. So I think she should come around the corner, because it was out of sequence, and kiss you. I was like, bet. But I didn't know what to expect. So she came around the corner, and God bless him, she put a kiss on a brother that I remember to this day. That's why I'm sharing it with you to this day. But that was my introduction to screen kissing on camera.
Thank you for that.
Great.
We love us some Sheila E. All right, you recently actually revealed that you initially passed on a role in my favorite show, Sex and the City, because you felt that it exploited Black men. Is there any role you didn't get that you wished you did?
Oh yeah. Sometimes they're not even thinking about you, and I've been on the other side as a beneficiary where people just kind of come to you and just offer you a project. But yeah, I think the one that got away was probably Dreamgirls, the part that Jamie Foxx played. Yeah. Only because I don't sing like Jamie. I couldn't sing like Jamie, but it got so close, and that was a role that was offered to me 10 years prior by different directors, Joel Schumacher, and it was supposed to be Whitney Houston in the Beyonce role. It was Don Cheadle in the Eddie Murphy role. offered me the role of the manager at that time, but that project ended up falling through. And then when this one came along, I was doing a play in New York with Anika Noni Rose, the brilliant Anika Noni Rose.
Yeah.
And the director came to see
Laurel.
it. Yeah, that's right. And she ended up being in the movie, and
Yeah.
I ended up not getting the part. But you know what? Listen, Jamie is phenomenal, first of all, and he did a phenomenal job in that. He had just won the Academy Award, so can't compete with that. But that was the one that got away. That one hurt because it was close in the hand.
Well, we've been so fortunate to see you in so many great performances, Blair. We've been so fortunate, and I just saw you in a soldier's.
Loosen the hair, right?
I could not speak today. Okay, you know what play I saw you in on Broadway? I just saw you on it. Okay, now I want to talk about that because there's a scene that starts, and your shirt is off. And when that scene happened, ladies, the whole crowd went crazy. They went wild. So I had to think about it because you kept your composure. You act like it was like nothing. How do you keep your composure and stay on point when everybody's like, Blair, throw it at me?
Well, you know what, Lonnie? First of all, thank you for coming to see the play, a soldier's play. But I was just showing a little shoulder for the shoulders play. But no, you know what? I think when that first happened, the first time it happened, it kind of took me out. I wasn't sure what, I just wasn't expecting that. And I figured at a certain point, I just got the realization that it could be much worse. They could be saying, instead of a positive reaction, they could be like, "What, brother, what are you doing? What were you thinking? Put your shirt back on. You don't need to take your shirt off for nobody at this time like that."
You are starring in this wonderful story about Madam C.J. Walker. You play the husband of Madam C.J. Walker in a Netflix limited edition story called Self-Made. It stars yourself, Tiffany Haddish, and also the wonderful Octavia Spencer. The series has been #1 on Netflix for quite a while. Tell people why they should check out this wonderful story.
Oh man, listen, this is a story about one of the baddest, most accomplished women in American history, in world history. She was a sister African-American woman. At the end of the 1800s, she was the first female self-made, that's the title, self-made millionaire in our country.
Wow.
To have done it in the late 1800s and early 1900s is a monumental accomplishment. So, that alone, and this, by the way, this is one of those stories that's been bumping around Hollywood for decades. And it's one of those stories, like so many of them, people ask, like, why hasn't anybody ever told that story? Why hasn't anybody ever made that movie? And finally, Octavia Spencer, Academy Award winning Octavia Spencer, and LeBron James is one of the producers. It took a team of people to bring it together and to finally make it happen. So I'm just, honored to be a part of it.
And I do want to say he takes his shirt off in this one too.
Oh, look at Lonnie. Look at Lonnie.
And while you're saying award-winning, Blair, could you just shift over to your left a second, just so we could peep all that bling in the back? What's all that shiny all there? Oh, excuse us. Oh, excuse.
Oh my Lord.
That was not intentional, y'all.
Hey.
That's
nice.
Very deserving.
Right there. All right, so Blair, you're not
that's been around for a long time. That's the benefit of longevity, which I'm grateful for.
Blair, what
Yes.
what have been some hairstyles that you have rocked in the past?
Oh my damn. Well, coming up in the 80s, everybody was doing everything with the hair. Brothers were having like straight perms and afros, and I think I had a pompadour once. But I did have a pompadour once, yeah. But my favorite has always been, which is classic, locks. I don't like calling them dreadlocks, they're not dreadful, but just locks.
Mm-hmm.
I've done that a couple of times. I had a couple projects. I played Othello on stage a couple of years ago and had these locks for 6 months while I was doing the play. But no, I love that look. If I could rock those all the time, I'd probably be rocking them right now.
Dope.
Right.
Well, Blair, you're not just an actor, you're also an author. I would love to hear the details of your latest book.
Oh, yeah. So this book is called Olympic Pride, American Prejudice. It's about the 1936 Berlin Olympics, aka the Nazi Olympics. And basically a lot of us know about Jesse Owens, who won 4 gold medals during those Olympics, in front of Hitler and in front of, the fallacy of white supremacy and racial superiority. But he did it. But there were 17 other African-American athletes that history has forgotten. So this is their story. It's based on a documentary written and directed and produced by Deborah Riley Draper. The book has been amazing. It's because of a lot of you who've been reading it, and especially during this time we got time on our hands. It was #1 on Amazon in 5 different categories. So I'm excited about it. And this is part of an imprint I have called Blair Underwood Presents. And when I did my first book years ago, I just realized that, to help sell anything, you got to be able to have access to the media. And it wasn't about my talent to be able to write, because I didn't write that book. It was a compilation. So I partnered with writers, and now this is the 6th book we've released on Blair Underwood Presents on my imprint, and it's all about giving people, authors that should be published, that have not been published, that opportunity. And this was one of those.
That's amazing.
The documentary itself
that is
came
so
out,
amazing.
and it should be a book as well.
What surprised you most about the athletes that competed?
Man, you know what? There's so much out of those 17 different individuals, but more than anything, I think were the 2 female athletes, Louise Stokes and Tidy Pickett. They were the first Black female athletes on any Olympian team, and they were the precursor. I mean, you look at Serena and Venus, you look at Simone Biles right now, Wilma Rudolph, all of the athletes, all of that, especially African American athletes, but the Black female athletes stand on their shoulders, and just to hear their story. Their stories and where they came from and what they had to deal with, more than even the brothers who were fighting, what they had to fight. It was quite harrowing, but inspirational at the same time. At the end of the day, it's an inspirational story about what these people went through when they did it in front of Hitler and Nazism.
Wow.
Yes.
Crazy.
Thank you so much for hanging out with us today. Thank you for hanging out with us today. Be sure to grab yourself a copy of Blair's book,